If you want to give more accurate tarot readings with more confidence and more depth, this video is for you. So if you're reading for friends, family, coworkers, or even paying clients or yourself, you're about to learn 5 ways to make those readings more accurate, more confident, and deeper so that you're not giving those kind of ambiguous, uncertain, ungrounded readings that could be a million and one other things. My name's Joe Monteleone. I'm a modern mystic, total misfit, and creator of the Tarot Mysticism Academy. I'm not going to give you superstition. I'm not going to give you book meanings. I'm not going to give you dogma. If you want all of that, there's a million and one other books out there that can give you that. We're going to talk about the depth of tarot and how you can use these 5 awesome steps to expand your tarot practice into a holistic tool of self-development, spiritual growth, insight, and more. So let's dive right in. These steps build on each other, so make sure you start from the beginning and take your time going through everything. The first step to giving more accurate and deeper readings is actually going to feel a little counterintuitive. So if you're a beginner, a lot of beginners, they go to the book, they memorize book meanings and all of that, and that's totally fine and valid, and I support that, and it's a good process in your tarot development. However, when you start to shift into intermediate and especially advanced tarot work, you're working with less prescribed definitions, pre-made definitions. When you start studying tarot's history and its connections to so much mystical philosophy, what you start to learn is how much tarot is pulling from abstract ideas. The reason why tarot does this is because tarot is so influenced by Platonic and Hermetic and Neoplatonic and Kabbalistic ideas that were kind of swarming around Alexandria, being revisited in the Renaissance and all of that. So because of that, so much of the deeper tarot knowledge deals with abstraction. You study Plato, and the first thing you probably hear about is his world of forms. Well, what is the world of forms? The world of forms is this idea that there is this world where everything that we experience in the physical has this abstract, perfect source, right? Every tree stems from this perfect abstract tree. Well, the tarot, with its connections to Neoplatonism, Kabbalah, and other traditions, also illustrates these ideas. So when we're pulling the cards, what we're doing is these cards are abstractly, in some ways, illustrating for us the patterns of what is going on in our life or what's coming or what we need to know. So a lot of times when people want more detail in their readings, what they'll do is they'll try to memorize more detailed information about the card. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? But that's all superstition. These details come from a deeper abstract pattern in the human condition that when you build a relationship with it, you'll have more command and more versatility with the energies of the cards. So what do I mean by this? It's the difference between pre-made memorized book meanings and deep, intimate understanding of the energies of the cards. When you know the abstract energies of the cards, you can work with them in a wider variety of ways and get more accurate information through your intuition and context and tarot methodology and all that. Let's look at an example. Okay, I got the Hierophant here. So as an example, the Hierophant, everyone traditionally from book meanings will say that it has to do with dogma and tradition and all the nastiness of that, right? But what people forget or don't go into is the spiritual office of the Hierophant. Who is the Hierophant, right? So if you pull this card, you might say, okay, this represents dogma, it represents tradition, it represents maybe a pattern, a culture that you're stuck in that you can't get out of, and that is a manifestation of the deeper meaning. Yes. Could it be Christianity? Yes. Could it be a cult? Yes. But it could also be the tarot itself. You see, all of these are manifestations of the deeper energy of the Hierophant. So what is this deeper energy? The deeper energy of the Hierophant is simply the connection between spirit and matter, or to be a little less abstract, the office that unites the two. That office can be a religion. It can also be a tarot deck. It can also be your own ancestors, right? When you understand the subtlety of the cards, you have more ways it can manifest, more ways you can work with it, and a wider variety of meaning. Now, this leads me to my second point, correspondences. So I know not everybody is into correspondences, and the truth is you don't have to know 1,000,001 correspondences to be an amazing tarot reader and give super accurate readings and all of that. There are many benefits to correspondences that I don't see people using. And when people ask me, Joe, how do you get so much information out of a card? How are you so accurate? All this stuff. It's because I studied so many damn correspondences. So I'm going to go over a few reasons why correspondences are awesome. First of all, if you don't know what correspondences are, they're essentially like associations that have been built between different ideas, sensations, classifications of things over time in various magical, occult, and esoteric circles. So for example, different crystals and gemstones have been connected to different colors, which have been connected to different energies and different gods and goddesses and different astrological intelligences and Kabbalistic ideas, and the list goes on. When you study correspondences, what you're doing is you are systematizing the abstract energy that will help you with step one. Remember, study the abstract energies, you'll have more versatility of meaning. These correspondences are literally built for that. It's kind of like, in a way, if we're going back to Plato, it would be like exploring Plato's world of forms to a degree. It's exploring the very patterns of the human experience through which all of our experiences manifest. At the Tarot Mysticism Academy, two of the main traditions of correspondences that I teach are Hermetic Kabbalah and astrology, as they are inescapable in tarot and a lot of Western esotericism. But there's so many other traditions, and now I'm starting to add even more stuff, from Vedic ideas to personal development strategies, auric fields, a bunch of fun things. But let's use our example with the Hierophant. So if you pull this card in a reading, that first book meaning you might say is tradition or dogma or religion or something like that. But when you go deeper into the abstract, remember I taught you that the Hierophant is more about the connection between spirit and matter. Well, if you study the correspondences, this is expressed beautifully in various symbolic systems. Kabbalistically, for example, the Hierophant is associated with the Hebrew letter Vav. And Vav, when spelled out, means nail. And Vav, as a symbol of the nail, represents the nailing of spirit and matter. And there's a bunch of Christian mysticism attached to this as well. It also represents the connection of the rose cross if you're into the kind of Hermetic Rosicrucian symbolism. What's further, the Hierophant in astrology is also associated with Taurus. And you might ask, well, what does Taurus have to do with the connection between spirit and matter? Taurus is fixed earth. It's like the most earthiest earth sign of all the earth signs. It is the fixing of matter into spirit, which is Taurus's whole thing. Taurus is about experiencing spirit in the present moment through all of its sensations. So in a reading, when you pull this card, you're not just reading the Hierophant, you're pulling from the energy of the Hebrew letter Vav, of the sign of Taurus, of the element of earth, of the fixed mode, plus 1,000,001 other things I can teach you that will deepen your connection to the energies of the reading that you're giving, but also provide you with more stuff to work with and more accuracy. When you plug all these abstractions into your intuition and add context of the question and your client, oh, you'll be spitting fire. You'll have jaws dropping all day. Speaking of astrology, this leads me to my next point, which is time. If you know that the Hierophant is attributed to Taurus, and you know that Taurus runs April 20th to May 20th, you have a whole month of time. In a reading, if you want to know when something's going to happen, you pull this card and now you know, start expecting things around April 20th to May 20th. So where do you study all these correspondences? Well, you can be like me and take decades to just read a bunch of books and memorize it yourself until you find a teacher that actually brings it all together for you, or you could go straight to the teacher. I have a bunch of free stuff at tarotmysticismacademy.com that's going to help you start to learn all of this depth. If you go to tarotmysticismacademy.com/ebooks, you could download some samples of these amazing books that tell you all about astrology, Kabbalah, mystical philosophy, tarot, and more. But if you're really serious about learning this, I definitely recommend my master curriculum. Imagine me mentoring you for over a year and you learning all of the secrets, mastering tarot, and transforming your world. I cannot stress the importance of a teacher enough. Before I met my teacher, I knew so much stuff, but it wasn't until I actually started working with someone who not only talked the talk but walked the walk that I started integrating all this material, mastering my own life and creating the fantasy of what I always wanted for myself. When you study tarot and mysticism, you can't help but get closer to yourself, be more aligned, and literally start creating the life you wanted. And that's what happened with me and my teacher. So now I get to help other people do that. And if you're feeling called, go to TarotMysticismAcademy.com, check out the curriculum, and apply. But let's move on to our last 2 steps. There's 2 more ways that you can expand your tarot practice to get more confidence, more accuracy, and more depth. Step 4 is probably the easiest of these 5 steps because you can start implementing it today. You don't need to study correspondences. It's more of a technical thing. So step 4 is don't repeat yourself. I know a lot of tarot readers, especially beginners and intermediate readers, will pull a card and they will say the same message 10 times in 10 different ways. And it's totally normal if you do that. I have definitely done that, and I still occasionally do that. And I'm going to tell you what's happening when you are repeating yourself in a reading. What you're doing is you're kind of like finagling to get more of the message. Your intuition and the information is coming through, whether it's your guides or your intuition or psychically, whatever is your thing. It's coming through, but you're kind of like, you're trying to shift the straw to get more juice, you know? And it's totally valid and it's totally cool because when you're speaking and your body is moving, you're actually surrendering a little bit more and more to the message. So it's not bad to repeat yourself, but the next level is this. Instead of repeat yourself and say the same things 10 different ways, say the message and then wait for the other possible manifestation of the message. So let's say we're using our Hierophant example. You pull the Hierophant and you start talking about what you know about the Hierophant. And you might say, oh, I see that there's some tradition that you're involved with. I see that there's some culture that you're involved with. Okay, I see customs. Okay, I see some, I don't know, rigidity or repetition or ritual. And that's not bad because you're saying different things. But what you can do instead is get the general idea and then go into the specific manifestations. So for example, you might say, I see tradition. And then you might see, I'm seeing a couple ways this can manifest. I can see this as a strict family that is following a specific religion or culture that you're involved with. I can also see this as you going to school, getting a degree. I can also see this as, you're giving more possibilities. And you might say, oh, Joe, that's kind of cheap, because then you're kind of just guessing. And it's not guessing when the intuition is running. It's something you'll experience. And what you'll start to do is when it starts running, you'll get closer and closer to that jaw-dropping, accurate moment of like, oh, there it is. And what you'll find is that what your intuition was doing is it was showing you the more abstract energy first before landing on the exact image. Now, sometimes the image or the message comes right there and you get the detailed message, but not all the time. So we're working on different planes here. And this is something that a lot of tarot readers don't know. When you read tarot, there's multiple planes that you're working on. Some people just skyrocket and see where they land. No, there's multiple different planes and contexts of this work, and that makes it so rich and exciting. Okay, step 5. So what happens if you're not sure how a card shows up? Let's say we pull the Hierophant card and we don't know, does this mean religion? Does this mean culture? Does this mean a mentor or a school, or which one could it be? Well, instead of guessing, this is kind of like in addition to the last step, what you can do is pull a context card. And the way this works is the second card will give context to the first card, but this is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to pull a context card and then pull 10 more context cards, because I know it's very tempting to just keep pulling cards till the cows come home. No. We got to sit with the cards in front of us. That's actually a big tarot mistake. There's really no tarot mistakes, but I recommend really sitting with the cards in front of you for a while before pulling more cards. But the context card is just one card. So let's use an example. Let's say we pulled the Hierophant card and we want to know, well, what specifically could this Hierophant be representing? What's the detail? I got the Moon card here. Okay, so what is the Moon? Well, we know that the Moon is like fears and going into the unknown and thresholds into the unfamiliar and the subconscious and all of that. But the Moon card also represents intuition and thresholds into new wisdom if you can face it. Ooh. So what I would say is the Hierophant and the Moon card together can represent overcoming a fear to enter an institution for more knowledge, but it will require exploring the unfamiliar. Now, that might be a little bit abstract. Let's see if we can get an even more detailed read on this. If we combine Hierophant with the Moon, this could also be a school or maybe it's a coven. Maybe it's a group of people that meet at night for certain ritual, right? Tradition, night. So this is giving context to our Hierophant right here. Coven, why not? So I'd like you to comment below, which of these 5 steps are you most excited to try? But I have to remind you, the deeper aspects of tarot and mysticism and, the alchemical process, however we want to language it, you really can't learn this in a YouTube video. You really can't learn this stuff in a book. You need a teacher, you need time, you need investment, you need patience, but the rewards are endless. That is why the Tarot Mysticism Academy hosts a curriculum that is multiple years, because these transformations take time, but they are indescribable. If you're serious about this work, I'll leave a link below where you can start looking at the Tarot Mysticism Academy curriculum, take some free classes, and potentially apply for the master curriculum. If you want to keep studying tarot at this level, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I release new stuff. And I have got some really cool new things coming out. We're going to continue touring the teleology of tarot and its mystical philosophy, and I'm excited that you're here.